discussion on that item? Seeing no discussion. Mr. Tucho.
Yeah, I just want to say that this is one of the more difficult ones for me because I really like to see both sides of this issue, and I had wished that this legislation would be worded slightly differently. I noticed there's one sentence here which is a bit ambiguous and I'm afraid overbroad that says law enforcement agencies should not allocate any resources for the investigation, prosecution of prostitutes for prostitution. And you know, what I think is appropriate to protect our neighborhoods is that we have adequate time, place, and manner restrictions. And I'm afraid that as broad as this is, it may prevent that to the detriment of our neighborhoods. And so I really want to find a way to support the decriminalization. I believe in that wholeheartedly, but I think that there's a risk of a negative impact on our neighborhoods. So I have a tough time with this, but I'm going to be voting no.
Member Walker.
Continuing to put women in jail in this victimless crime is perpetuating the sexism that's involved with how this whole issue has been dealt with, and I think this is the first step in really doing the right thing around prostitution and legalizing it, decriminalizing it, and stop putting women in jail. You know, I get that there may be some problems with the language of the ballot measure, as there is in most. I think this is a first step, and we shouldn't continue to allow women to be arrested while we figure it out.
I just want to make the observation that there's a provision in the measure to change it with a 2/3 vote of the Board of Supervisors. So the only complaint I've heard is that it may be worded in some ways that may cause problems. So if that is the case, the Board of Supervisors can address this and I think achieve the ultimate goal, which is decriminalizing prostitution. This is the only thing that I'm aware of in America, a capitalist country, that is legal to give away for free, but is a criminal activity to charge money for. So I'll be voting yes.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. Member Cass.
I have struggled with this one because I support decriminalization. I hate badly drafted measures, but given so many things before us this evening, what the heck with one more? But I'm persuaded that the concerns that I had were with respect to human trafficking. And I am persuaded by some of the testimony this evening that human trafficking has been reduced by decriminalizing. So although I do have grave concerns about poor drafting and do hope that the Board of Supervisors might clarify and clean up that language, I will be voting yes.
I agree with Leslie's comments about trafficking. The other complaint I have heard is that it defunds a portion of SAVE and Safe House's budget. Because obviously if you're not arrested, some of that money when Johns are arrested goes to these programs. And I also hope that the Board of Supervisors will take into consideration some of the decreased funding for these groups when budgets come before them in the future, so that they continue to provide services for people who do not want to be into prostitution, do not want to enter into prostitution. And so I also will be supporting the measure tonight.
Member Endorses.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Every year since we've had the International Sex Workers Day celebration, I have been the chief sponsor at the Board of Supervisors. And I believe that the opportunity for the public to now vote on this thing is in some ways a threshold moment for our city. I have had participated in meetings, and including a conference that came to San Francisco a couple of years ago with folks from other countries, New Zealand in particular, where decriminalization, as a result of decriminalization, one of the major important factors that we have seen happen in New Zealand is that, they have seen, but I participated in discussions with them, so we are united with them, I think, is that once you come out in the open, many of the problems, in fact, almost all the problems related to the criminality, the violence, the pimping, the illegal trafficking, the exploitation of underage, particularly girls, all basically reduces down to a number approaching zero. Holland has had this for decades and decades and decades, and any place where you see this happening, all the issues that people identify as the problems actually fade away because you bring it out into the open, and then people who want to enter into this kind of activity and this kind of work can do so in the open, and all the health issues, as the doctor here addressed, are addressed. So I would vote. I will vote yes, and I would urge a yes vote. And I associate myself with the comments of some of our colleagues about what the Board of Supervisors can do to clean up some of the language later. Thank you.
On the item, a roll call, please.
Ornstein.
Yes.
Campos.
Yes.
I'll be voting no. Daly.
Yes.
Goldstein.
Yes.
Holland.
Yes.
Shea.
No.
Julian.
Yay.
John.
No.
Katz.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Leviton.
No.
Manley.
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
McGoldrick.
Yes.
Morrison.
Abstain.
Nutter.
Pass.
O'Connor.
Abstain.
Peskin.
No.
Smith.
Yes.
Spangen.
Yes.
Tuchel.
No.
Walker.
Yes.
Wiener.
No.
Feinstein.
No.
Spear.
No.
Betty Yee.
Abstain.
Migden.
Yes.
Leland Yee.
No.
Leno.
Yes.
Ma.
No.
Amiano.
Yes.
Longo. No. We go back. There were a couple of passes. Kelly. Nutter.
What did you say?
You were both passes, right?
You're first.
Yes.
And come back to me. If you can put funding in, and I hope that'll happen, I can vote yes.
It is a yes or no vote, so that's
Yes.
a yes vote. All right. And the count, Mr. Secretary, is
18 yeas. That's a pass.
18
I-
yes.
18 yeses.
The next item is the emergency response fee measure. Is there any discussion? Motion to move it by acclamation.